unravelling the legacy. Is this the missing link or the Jaguar you've never heard of? Introducing the XK180, built on the XK8 XJS chassis, and a preview of the eventual XJ13 series, and to some extent the F-Type, while honouring the past in the form of the XJ13 and the XJ220. Perhaps also appearing to be the successor to the E-Type. The XK180 was all of those things. In practical terms, the XK180 two-seater with hints of what would become the F-Type, but previewed the all-alloy body of the XJ150 series, while still using the 4-litre engine of the X100 series, albeit a little bit modified with an extra 80 brake horsepower. The XK180 also gave a nod to the stillborn mid-engined XJ13 sports racer and the outstanding XJ220. The XK180 came into being just 2 years into the production period of the XK8 and was unveiled at the Paris Motor Show in September 1998. And it's interesting that the XK180 was 8 years ahead of the X150 series release. The car was always intended to be a concept car for the future, and Jaguar's management stressed that at the unveiling. However, the car was not just an everyday concept car with a shell and balsa wood interiors. In fact, it was a fully working car, and because it was imagined by the public as the real thing, it filled that role where they've dreamed of a new car since the demise of the E-Type. Hence there was a lot of pressure put on Jaguar to put the XK180 into production, but the practical side won out. For the XK180 to be a production car, it'd have to be virtually fully redesigned, and not something that Ford would have agreed to. After all, it was built on the chassis of the XJ100 series, and in turn that was built on the XJS running gear, and the XJS started its initial design in 1965, before it was released in 1975, and that made it a 30-year-old design. So why was the XK180 built in the first place? It was a proof of concept of the abilities of Jaguar's Special Vehicles Operation Department to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the introduction of the XK120 at Earl's Court in 1948. And the somewhat hidden and underlying benefits were seen in future models, especially the X150 XK models and the later F-Type, whose concept car was being developed at the same time as the XK180 was being built. The F-Type concept car was shown at the 2000 Detroit Motor Show, and that's only 2 years after the original XK180 was shown at Earl's Court, and a year after the left-hand drive version was shown at the Detroit Motor Show in 1999. But the really amazing thing about the development of the XK180 was that in order to showcase the talents of the special vehicle operations stylists and engineers who converted a vision into a drivable reality in just 42 weeks, which is unheard of. The shape of the XK180 was derived from hints of the XK120 and more from the XJ13 and a little from the XJ220, but technically the car would use the supercharged X100 XKR, which at the time had not yet been revealed to the public, but with a more upgraded version of the 4-litre motor developing 450 brake horsepower compared to the 370 brake horsepower of the standard 4-litre XKR, and even more than the 400 brake horsepower of the later 4.2-litre XKR. The gearbox was a Mercedes 5-speed auto with selection buttons on the steering wheel, and the top speed was intended to be 290 km per hour. That's 180 miles per hour, hinted at the XK180 model number, and all of that with 0 to 100 times of 4.6 seconds. The principal designer of the XK180 was Keith Halford, also the designer of the XJ220, along with principal engineer Gary Albrighton and Jeff Lawson, who was Jaguar's chief stylist. and they decided to employ a shortened version of the XKR as the basis for the XK180. And it took just 8 weeks to develop the modified XKR platform, with 125mm being cut out of the cockpit and the wheelbase, and then both the front and rear overhangs were reduced by a further 345mm, with the body just 9mm wider than the XKR. Only 2 cars were produced, one left-hand drive and one right-hand drive, though there are now some companies that offer to convert regular XJS, XK8, XKR cars to replicas of the XK180. Part of the designer's concept was to live up to the heritage themes of the past, especially with the treatment in the cockpit. Behind that double bubble windscreen with the tapering door glass, the dashboard would have machined aluminium with switches hinting to the Le Mans C and D types. The J-gate shifter was in a modern streamlined style and was supplemented by 2 buttons on the steering wheel, rather than the later paddles of the X150 series. And there were large speedometer and rev counter dials in front of the driver and matching smaller circular dials across the centre of the dashboard. And amazingly, it took just 4 weeks to design the whole interior, and then 2 weeks to produce moulds for the panels, while the specially prepared AJV8 was fitted with some special chassis components to fine-tune the handling of the car. Then after photography in mid-September 1998, XK180 right-hand model was ready to be shipped to Paris. The second XK180 in left-hand drive form, with a slightly different trim and colour, was exhibited at the Detroit Motor Show in 1999. And it was only a year later that the pre-mentioned F-Type concept car, being developed in tandem with the XK180, would be shown at the Detroit Motor Show. However, that's another story, and another video for you to watch out for. Please like and subscribe, being sure to press the bell to be reminded about that F-Type concept video. Thanks for watching.